Am I the a-hole for hiding my real identity? Hello Reddit, I've been struggling with this situation for a while now and someone advised me that I should ask on Reddit. For anonymity purposes only, I will be using fake names in this post. I, 20 mate, have been working hard on my career as an actor for a couple of years now, and with success. I am currently one of the most famous actors in Japan. But there is something the public, or even the people closest to me, don't know. I've been lying about my identity. To have a fair chance at making a name for myself, I created a fake persona. The public will never know about this. But should I one day tell Kylie Moore who I really am? To understand my dilemma, let me first tell you a little about me. I'm the son of two extremely famous Hollywood actors, Clark and Jennifer Harrison. To the rest of the world, they are legends, Hollywood royalty whose names are synonymous with excellence and glamour. To me, they're just my parents. And growing up, I never doubted their love for me. I had a happy childhood filled with warmth and support. My parents made time for me despite their demanding careers. Whenever they weren't busy with filming or promotions, they took me on family vacations. One of my fondest memories is spending summers in Kyoto, Japan, surrounded by nature, far from the chaos of Hollywood. But as I grew older, things changed. I wanted to follow in my parents' footsteps and become an actor. I admired their work and thought I could find my own place in the industry. That's when I realized the world wasn't as kind as my childhood had led me to believe. Hollywood didn't see me as Ken Harrison, an aspiring actor with passion and dreams. To them, I was just the son of Clark and Jennifer Harrison. A nepo baby. Directors doubted my abilities, assuming any opportunity I got was handed to me because of my last name. Even when I secured roles, I faced relentless scrutiny. Some directors were outright hostile, pushing me harder than my co-stars and belittling my efforts. I wanted to prove myself, but no matter how hard I worked, it was never enough. They only saw the shadow of my parents. This made me angry and I started acting out. I started hanging with the wrong crowd in Hollywood and would stay out late and go to parties where a 14-year-old had no place at being. My life went completely off the rails and neither my parents nor my best friend were able to reach me anymore. Then, when I was 15, tragedy struck. My best friend died in an accident. He was the only person outside my family who truly understood me, who saw me for who really I was. Losing him shattered me. I started blaming myself for his death and fell into a deep depression. For an entire year, I barely left my room. I stopped caring about my career, my dreams, everything. My parents tried everything they could to help, but nothing worked. I was lost. That's when Larry Top stepped in. Larry is an eccentric man and a family friend, known for his success in managing talents in Japan. One day, he showed up at my house, dressed in one of his flamboyant suits, and sat down with me. He told me he'd seen my potential, even if Hollywood refused to. He offered me a way out, move to Japan, start fresh under a new identity, and rebuild my career from scratch. At first, I was hesitant. Could I really leave everything behind? But the more I thought about it, the more I realized I didn't have much to lose. Hollywood had rejected me, and I couldn't stay stuck in the past forever. So, with my parents' reluctant blessing, I took Larry's offer. I dyed my hair black, chose the stage name Robert Tenz, and left Ken Harrison behind. Starting over in Japan wasn't easy. At first, I struggled with the language and the cultural differences. But I threw myself into my work, determined to succeed on my own terms. I trained relentlessly, honing my skills and learning everything I could about the Japanese entertainment industry. Slowly but surely, I started to gain recognition. My hard work paid off, and the roles I landed began to showcase my talent rather than my family name. Before leaving for Japan, I sat my parents down and told them that I didn't want to rely on their influence anymore. I told them I'd only contact them once I had made a name for myself. They respected my decision, though it hurt them. Cutting ties with my parents, even temporarily, was one of the hardest things I've ever done. But I needed to prove to myself that I could stand on my own 2 feet. Robert Tenz quickly became one of the most sought-after actors in Japan. The public admired my professionalism and calm demeanor. To them, Robert Tenz was a perfect man. Kind, composed, and humble. But it was all an act. Beneath the facade, I was still Ken Harrison, the boy who'd once been broken and lost. It has been years since I started my debut in Japan, and all this time I have not been Ken Harrison at all. But recently I've been having some trouble keeping this part of me hidden. Then there's Kylie Moore. She's one of the most unique people I've ever met. When we first crossed paths, she was brash, overly earnest, and completely clueless about the entertainment industry. I didn't think much of her at first. Her reasoning for entering showbiz did irritate me. But I really didn't think she would get far. She just seemed like a girl with more enthusiasm than talent. But over time, she proved me wrong. Kylie Moore has an unshakable determination that's impossible to ignore. She's one of the hardest working people I've ever met, constantly striving to improve herself. Watching her grow as an actress has been inspiring. It wasn't long before I realized there was something oddly familiar about her. Then one day, I caught a stone that looked eerily similar to the one I once gave a little girl. When Kylie Moore desperately asked for the stone back, I realized that she was that girl I met years ago. It was during one of my family's vacations to Kyoto. I'd been going through a rough time, struggling with my identity and my parents' fame. While wandering alone, I came across a little girl who was crying. She thought she'd lost something precious. To cheer her up, I gave her a small stone and told her it was magical. She misheard my name and started calling me Cake. She believed I was a fairy prince. She was just a little girl and I probably was never going to see her again. So, I went along with it. Kylie, to this day, still believes in fairies and believes that the stone I once gave her protects her from evil. She has no idea that Cake and me are the same person. She probably doesn't remember my face and I've never told her the truth either. At first, it seemed harmless. But the more I got to know Kylie, the more I realized how much that memory meant to her. Prince Cake gave her hope during a dark time in her life. And now, as Robert Tens, I've become someone she looks up to and trusts. A mentor of sorts? I've also fallen in love with her. Kylie Moore's resilience, her kindness, and her passion have captured my heart. But I've kept my feelings hidden. How can I confess when I'm hiding such a big part of myself? How can I ask her to trust me when I can't reveal such a big secret to her? Plus, after I got to know her, it became clear that she has lost the ability to love herself and others. Her ex-best friend broke her heart after dragging her to Tokyo for his own selfish reasons, and her own mother, after abandoning her when she was a child. Not too long ago told on national TV that she doesn't have any children. So yes, that's a hard pill to swallow, and I realize that she still has to learn how to love herself first. It also still annoys me that she is obsessed with getting revenge on her former best friend for what he did to her. It's the whole reason she entered showbiz in the first place. I truly believe that the moment she forgets about this whole revenge thing, is the moment she can accept love back into her life. On the one hand, I believe that Kylie deserves the truth. But telling her would mean risking everything. If she knew I'd been lying about my identity, would she ever forgive me? Would she still see me as the mentor who's guided her career, or would she feel betrayed? At the same time, keeping this secret feels like a betrayal of its own. Kylie has been through so much in her life. She's been hurt by people she trusted, and the last thing I want is to add to that pain. But is it fair to let her continue believing in a lie? My biggest fear is that after I tell her, she might want nothing to do with me anymore. On the other hand, she might also understand why I couldn't reveal anything to her. So, Reddit, am I the a-hole for hiding my real identity? Should I come clean to Kylie, knowing it could change everything? Or is it better to keep the past buried and protect the life I've built as Robert Tens? Edit. I see a lot of you have been trying to guess who I am, but as I said in this post, my privacy is very sacred to me, and also, I do not want to make this into a spectacle. Please respect my privacy and do not inquire any further about my real identity. Relevant comments. Comment from Selfie Bastard 17. If you're a true man of this industry, you wouldn't hide behind fake names. I dislike fakes like you. Comment from Righteous Warrior 2364. As curious as I am about who you really are. You're not the first to use fake names on Reddit when they post, but to put that aside, I do believe that you should tell her. It will only get more awkward as time goes by. Plus, just think about how hurt she'll be if she figures it out on her own. Comment from Mastermind 37. Look dude, are you going to be Robert Tens forever, or will you at some point drop that persona and go back to being Ken Harrison full time? Anyway, although I can understand that you don't want to reveal this to the public, keeping this big of a secret from the people close to you will only bite you in the butt later on. It will hurt them that you don't trust them enough to keep it. Update. Hello Reddit, it's been a while. Because of my busy schedule, I actually completely forgot about this post. I only remember it when my manager was talking about a post he read on Reddit. I have to say that writing everything down really helped me get some perspective, and in the end I have decided to not reveal to Kylie Moore that I'm the fairy prince from her childhood just yet. To make matters a little more complicated, not too long ago we were all, the cast and crew of the movie I'm filming, staying at this resort, and to give myself some privacy for a couple of hours, I decided to dye my hair back to my natural color. I didn't think anything of it. It's just that I realized that I miss just being Ken Harrison, aka myself, and so I was taking a swim at a secluded part of the beach when suddenly Kylie was standing in front of me. She recognized me immediately as Prince Cake and then asked why I also looked a lot like Robert Tens. I could have told her the truth at that moment. But instead, I said that my glamour magic made me look like the man she was closest to. And to my surprise, she believed me. Now before you come after me and tell me that that was an a-hole move, you have to understand that Kylie is always very reserved and keeps me, when I'm Robert Tens, at arm's length. She never really shares her thoughts or talks freely with me. So I decided to step into the role of Prince Cake for her. To my surprise, the way she opened up to me was incredible. She spoke freely, laughed, and let down the walls she always keeps up around Robert Tens. I just fell more in love with her than I already was. We had so much fun, exploring the resort. I do feel bad that I had to pretend that I didn't know what money was and that she paid for our meals. Anyway, we both had a blast, and in the end I even kissed her before saying goodbye, something I could never do as Robert Tens. Then, to sell the act, I jumped over the railing of the balcony we were standing on. It was a risky move, but her shocked expression made it worth it. I know some of you will think I'm the a-hole for continuing the lie. But seeing her happy, even for a little while, made me fall for her even more. For now, I'll keep the secret and cherish the moments we shared. One day I will tell her everything. When that day comes, I will not forget to update you guys. I promise.
Thank you for watching. Up next, the compilation of all the AITA stories from Skip Beat characters plus a bonus advice story from Lori Takarada himself about what it takes to make it in the industry. So stay tuned.